Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you enjoyed the last tier list because we're doing another one. You might notice it's just Need for Speed games. Obviously, we do a lot of Need for Speed videos on this channel, so I thought, why not do Need for Speed games? We're not doing just the cars today, we're doing the games themselves. Obviously, Need for Speed has had a lot of games, some better than others, I guess. So I'm just going to go through and rank my opinion on what the good ones are and what the bad ones are. I think there's probably a couple on here. Yeah, there's at least a couple on here I haven't played, and you might notice there's some odd things going on in this list. But I don't think I've missed any. But real quick, obviously there's some things that I do want to say. There's some caveats, maybe. That's kind of an odd word. I don't know if I'm using that quite right. Whatever. Who cares? I'm not a smart person. But for some games, you might notice that there's Carbon and then Carbonona City. Obviously, different games, kind of. PSP versions, Most Wanted, 510 versus Most Wanted. And then Underground and Underground Rivals. Obviously, the PSP and then the normal version. Whatever. But then I have like Porsche Unleashed. Do I have Porsche Unleashed? I do have Porsche Unleashed. I had it somewhere. It's somewhere. Where's that 911 Turbo? It was somewhere. I know I put it in this list. Damn. Where the hell is it? Oh yeah, there it is. I know I put it there. I put Porsche Unleashed and I was like, should I put the Game Boy version that I have sitting on my table right over here in my Game Boy? I was like, no, that's too far. That's too far. I won't do that. So I didn't put like the Game Boy version, but then I also put like Most Wanted and then Most Wanted U. We'll get to that. We'll get to why that's important. But I'm gonna try to do them in order because they're not in order, but I'll try to do them in order. And with that being said, let's get into it. So first one, The Need for Speed Road and Track presents or whatever, The Need for Speed. Um, Crazy right off the bat. I've never actually played this. This came out like the year I was born, 1994. I've never played this. I don't own a DOS machine or a DOS player on my computer. Um, I don't have a way to play this, and I've never really looked into how to do this. All the ways, all the things that I do, modding and virtual machines and all that stuff. I've never really felt a desire to really want to play this. All the Need for Speeds that came after this, I never cared. I'll be honest. I never cared. I know it's cool. I've watched gameplay of it. It looks fun. It looks great. It's like 7 or 8 cars or something. It's like the Super, the 355, the Diablo, I honestly don't know all of them, but it's like 5, 6, 7 cars, and then there's like an expansion or something. I just, it's fine. And without that, we wouldn't have all these other games here. I just don't care too much. I'll be real honest with you. Maybe that's makes me not a real gamer, Need for Speed enthusiast. I don't know. You cry about it. Next, Need for Speed 2. So there's Need for Speed 2 and there's Need for Speed SE. I was like, do I put them both in there? They're not too different. It's just extra stuff. It's like DLC before DLC came with extra stuff. I didn't. So Need for Speed 2 SE, I played briefly. I didn't remember too much about it. It's fine. Um, you hear that word a lot with me when it comes to things I don't have other words to describe. It just is. I don't have much else to say. It's better than this from what I've seen and what I do remember, but it's just not much more. There's like more cars, there's more tracks, it's slightly better, but just not much more to it. So I'll put it up here. It's like not bad, but it's just there's not much going on there. So and then there's Need for Speed 3. Really wish it would have kept them in order. Damn. Okay, Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit. There we go. So this is where things start getting good, right? So this is where cops come in, things start getting fun and feisty and all that. So I'm gonna put that in B because it's kind of like I feel like a lot of people that's where things start getting. That's where they start getting into Need for Speed, There's some really memorable cars in there. There's some like really like hyper type stuff and some concept type stuff, and of course like police. Like Need for Speed wouldn't be what it is without police. So I gotta put it in B. It's not like A tier material, definitely not S tier material. I wouldn't even call it like super nostalgic, but it's like without this we wouldn't have what Need for Speed is. It's B tier for me for sure. And the next is High Stakes. Um, this is S tier for me, and I'll explain. So this was the first Need for Speed game I played. This is the first game I ever modded on when I was a kid and really messed around with. I played this for hours. This was one of my first games in general. My first Need for Speed game, one of my first games, the first game I modded. This is S tier nostalgia, not just S tier Need for Speed for me. This is like S tier everything. So for like, I don't know how other people feel, but frankly, this is my tier list. You can comment down below how you feel about all this and what everything is for everybody else. But this for me, 1999 when this came out, this was like everything for me. This was great. I think the tracks are great. The car list is great. The modding community going all the way back to when this game came out was fantastic. Even now, there's some like really cool stuff out for it. This game has been and is just still holds up. I love this game so much. It is everything for me. I still have my original jewel case copy of this. The case has been through hell and back, and I've gotten many new jewel cases for it, but I love this so much. And I love it. I just S tier all the way. S tier. Okay, moving on. Oh god, what's next? Is Porsche Unleashed is next. It's honestly kind of disappointing. I don't know why. It's a C tier. I don't know. I don't have too many fond memories of this one, especially coming off of High Stakes. I think I just after High Stakes when I was a kid, and then like the next one, very next one after that was Porsche, and I love Porsche. I just was so disappointed with Porsche Unleashed. You know, there were some cool cars in it, but there wasn't a whole lot of good stuff. Like I just found it to be very boring and underwhelming. I think I just had such high expectations for what was next after High Stakes. I played this very little, and then I went back to High Stakes. I don't have a lot of fond memories, and I played it a little bit since then. I don't hold it in high regard. I will be extremely honest. Yeah, C tier. Love the 911 Turbo on the cover though. But other than that, not a whole lot going on for me there. Next would be Hot Pursuit 2. Where's that? There we go. Hot Pursuit 2. That's A tier. A tier for me. Another great game. Another lot of great memories with that game. A lot of great memories with friends, playing it by myself. Again, a lot of modding going on for that one for me. That's A tier. I wouldn't put it as high as S tier, but definitely A tier. Definitely A tier. That's almost, man. Oh, that's tough. Oh. Depending how this goes, it might go up to S tier. But damn. Okay. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh man. Okay. It might go up further. I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but it might go up further. I don't know. It's so good. It's just a better High Stakes, right? Like graphically. But I feel like for most people, maybe this would be S tier. For me, it's just A tier because like this came out and I loved it, and it had the same vibes. But I still went back to High Stakes like 3 years later. I was still playing the hell out of High Stakes. I don't know. Okay, I mean that's what it is, right? Okay. Underground. You know, I liked Underground. I just really wished that it was open world. You know, in 2003 it came out, and obviously everyone was. I love the supercars. I love the police. When it came out, I was like, oh, this game would be great with police. This game would be great with open world. Everyone was super into the tuners and all that stuff. Fast and Furious was hot. That's why they shifted from supercars and hypercars and into the tuner car scene. And I get it. Never understood why they didn't put police in it. I mean, it's about underground street racing, but there's no cops. I never understood that, but I'm I'm not the powers that be at EA. I don't understand it, but I'm not meant to. I get it. But it just always felt like it was missing a lot. So it's B tier. Still fun game. It's still fun. I honestly, it just, even today I play it. I'll play it with mods. I'll play it with like different like elements change, and it still doesn't do it for me. It's C tier. It's C tier because then like, where's Underground 2? Underground 2. Underground 2. It still feels like it misses. Like I can modify it and change certain things, and even Underground 2 adds that open world element. It still just feels like it's missing a lot to it. It still feels unfinished. I don't know. It still just feels unfinished. Like they're just missing a lot. And then of course, oh wait a minute, where's Underground Rivals? Underground Rivals is good. I enjoyed Underground Rivals. I was a big PSP person. I had my PSP on me at all times. So Underground Rivals, and then we'll get to the other ones, were huge for me. Underground Rivals was great, and how I'll just put Most Wanted 510 was great for me. Those are both A tier experiences. They were on me at all times. Flipping between those, and then like I don't know, I think I had like Pursuit Force, and then like the GTAs that came with PSP. Those were usually with me at all times. Those are A tier all the way. And while I'm at it, let's just throw this up there because this is exactly what I felt like was missing from Underground. You have in Underground or in Most Wanted, you had like some tuner cars. You had some. You didn't have a whole lot of classic muscle, but you had like the modification and stuff that the older Need for Speeds were missing. But then you had the police and you had the open world. It was perfect. It wasn't like necessarily underground. It was like during the day. But then, I mean, you had the open world experience. You had the police. You had the customization. It was perfect. It was perfect. Perfect. S tier. S tier. I mean, Most Wanted. I mean, everyone's going to say that Most Wanted is S tier unless they're just a contrarian for contrarian's sake. But S tier. S fucking tier. All day. Every day. And Most Wanted 510 is A tier. I mean, it's going to be hard to get a handheld game to S tier. I mean, handhelds are just by nature just A tier, right? It's going to be hard to get them up there. Yeesh. Okay, next we have Carbon. Carbon was okay. Oh, definitely not S tier. I find it hard to put it in. Okay, so I really enjoyed. I had the collector's edition, and I really enjoyed all the challenge series in how they did the challenge series in Carbon. I enjoyed the world layout in Carbon better than Most Wanted. I don't know if that's a controversial opinion or not. I enjoyed that it was nighttime in Carbon. It definitely, the story was worse in Carbon, but I mean, it's a racing game. I mean, the characters were, just as cheesy. Who cares? I'm going to put it in A. I was like, I also thought there was better car. There was better car variety in Carbon than in Most Wanted. Yeah, but it still deserves to go in A. It's definitely not S tier material, but I'm gonna put it safely in A. I also enjoy all the different mechanics they added, drifting in the canyon. I thoroughly enjoyed Carbon. I thought it's definitely not S, but it's safely, it's gonna go high A. High A. It's probably gonna stay high A. Absolutely. Okay, Pro Street. I think things are gonna be going like wildly downhill from here. Okay, so Pro Street, it was unique. I thought it was like unique how they did it. I find the fan theories about Ryan Cooper and connecting like the events of like everything from underground through to Pro Street and even beyond interesting. That's not what we're here for, right? Pro Street, I um the driving mechanics are just so questionable. The customization's fun. The settings are fun. There's like a story, I guess. I just have to put it in C. I don't it's hard for me to find anything like truly good to say about it. It just kind of felt like they're like, what do we have to put something out between Carbon and Undercover, and we don't really have anything really good, so let's just kind of like throw something together kind of quick that's like a placeholder. I don't know. It's not horrible. I enjoy playing it now, but that's like because mods exist. But playing it back then in vanilla form was just, yeah. That's a fair word. Oh, I forgot about Carbon Own the City. So yeah, I didn't enjoy Carbon Own the City. That's also gonna be a C for me. It's also gonna be hard to get an F. Like I don't. It's gonna be hard to get an F. I think there might be a couple that are good contenders, but it's gonna be hard to get an honest to god F. It's gonna be C. There's no D here because I didn't want there to be a D, but it's gonna be hard to get an F. I thought it was gonna be either like they're okay, or they're bad, or I just didn't play them. Okay. Undercover. Okay, never mind. Okay, so yeah, because like mods exist. I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying to judge them just by their vanilla form. That's another thing. Vanilla form. Undercover's questionable at very best. The story. The positives. Let's start with the positives. They went with full like They went with like there's no CGI. They got real cars, real people, real cars. Good production value, mostly, on that. But then like they cheaped out on the like cutscenes. Like the animations look like they're from like 2005, 2006, but like upscaled, and the mechanics are even worse than Pro Street, and everything is just bad. Then there's like the awful Wii and PS2. Like if you were trying to play this on a PS2 or a Wii or like any handheld version, oh my god! Like this game shouldn't have existed. It's F. If you're playing in vanilla form, it's F. Like if you're trying to play this version now, play it on PSC and mod the hell out of it. Holy shit! That's the only way you're gonna get a halfway decent experience out of it. And even then, it's still kind of you still have to deal with like the story, which is just that's an F. I know there's people that enjoy it that say it's not that bad. Yeah, the world's kind of okay to drive through, and the customization is not terrible, and there's good car choice, good car variety, or whatever people say. I've seen people say good things. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. Like I'm probably gonna try to play it at some point soon again. Like I have it like sitting in a folder with the mods in a folder, and I'm just like, yeah, it's there. It's a thing that exists in the world. You know, it's like, do I want it? It's like knowing I have to stab myself, but I don't want to stab myself. All right, that's 2008. When did the shifts come out? I'm just gonna do the shifts. I don't remember when they came out. I didn't play them a whole lot. It's like their answer to the Forza Horizon, right? I didn't mind Shift 1. I thought it was fine. Shift 2, I played it so little. I got a copy from a friend. I bought this, didn't enjoy it. It was a physical copy, and I sold it like a month later. And then Shift 2, a friend gave me, and I gave it back after like 2 days. It was just like, this isn't what I want. It's not what I wanted out of my Need for Speed experience. It was like an enjoyable enough experience, but I just didn't care for it too much. It just wasn't for me. Like objectively, probably fine, but just not exciting enough for me. Okay, those are those taken care of. Um, it's 2008. What was 2000? Was there anything in 2009? I don't remember. Um, I'm sure I'll remember eventually. 2010 was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I did not play it when it first came out. Um, I don't remember what I was doing in 2010 that I just didn't play this game because I know it was good, but I didn't play it when it first came out. I did, however, play the remastered version, and I love the remastered version of Hot Pursuit. I played this a lot. I play it on PC. I play it on Steam Deck. Um, I don't have a Switch, but we have a Switch in the household, and it's on Switch, and it's even decent on Switch. So it's good. It's a good game. It's fun. It's great. I think it's great. Looks great. The mechanics are great. There's a good driving mechanics, good pursuit mechanics, great car selection. It's just a good game. Just a good solid pursuit based racing pursuit based. I don't know, pursuit racing game. I don't know. It's just really fun. It's just reminiscent of older Need for Speed games. Maybe that's why I like it so much. Kind of simple, but it's just it's just good. It's just a good time. And I think when it came out, it was like $40, which isn't terrible. Wasn't terrible. So yeah, I think it's fantastic. Let's see. After that, it was Need for Speed The Run. It was short. The main game was very short. You didn't get to do a lot with the cars, with like customizing the cars or choosing the cars. If I remember correctly, a lot of it was very linear. I remember there was like a lot of cars in the game, but it was like not a whole lot you could do with them. I haven't played it since then, and I've been meaning to, but it's very hard to do nowadays because I can't find physical copies of it. They're kind of like hard to come by because people hold on to them, and playing on PC isn't necessarily easy to do. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. The story was okay. It was an interesting experience, a fairly unique experience. So it wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. I'm gonna put it in B. I'm gonna put it smack in the middle. Let's put it in B. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. It was just, fine. I remember there were Challenge Series events, and I really like Challenge Series events, but I never even finished them. Although, I think one thing that I do enjoy, I do have Need for Speed The Run on 3DS, and that is a very, very fun experience as well. Also kind of short, but the Challenge Series events for those are also very fun. I do enjoy, like I said, Challenge Series events. So, yeah, it's still just B. It's not bad, not great, but yeah, unique enough, fun enough to put it up there. Okay, next, Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. They could have called this something else. I think. All right, so I'm gonna put this one in C. I would have put it in B because it's not a terrible experience. Driving mechanics are kind of off, but there's a lot of cars. It's a big world. There's a lot of good DLC. I'm not a big fan of DLC, but I remember I got the DLC back then. There was some good cars in it. It's fine. I think they could have called it something else. I think they were banking on the fact, or in the hope that people would buy it just off of them calling it Most Wanted only 7 years after the good Most Wanted came out. They should have just called it something else, and then changed the whole, like, putting air quotes you can't see, Blacklist, which was stupid because there wasn't really like a Blacklist thing to it. It was just cars. Like, I don't know. From what I remember, it wasn't really people. It was just cars that you would beat, and like, I don't know. It was kind of stupid. And they could have just done it slightly. They could have changed the story a little bit and made it a different game and called it something different and not kind of ruin the Most Wanted name. They didn't ruin anything, but I don't know. It's just kind of stupid. Now, Most Wanted U, which was the Wii U version, is just a better version of this. This is a fun version. I swear it is the most fun version of Most Wanted. There's like a special thing you can do with the gamepad where like you could have it's like a two-player version. I did it at a friend's house. I never had a Wii U because I wasn't gonna waste my money. But my friend did, and they had the Most Wanted U, and like you could do two players. One of you could drive, and the other could like work the special like abilities. And then there was like special like Mario cars or something from what I remember. It was really really fun, really cool. There's like Mario pipes, like green pipes, Mario pipes in the in the map. It was interesting, and honestly, it didn't look any different than any other version of the game. It was interesting. It was unique and fun. So it's like this is gets a C. I would put this in B if they just called it something else besides Most Wanted, and then this would be up here instead, and then this would probably be up here. But instead, it gets put in C for having a stupid name, and then this gets put up in B. So, um, okay, 2013. Oh, Most Wanted Rival. I fucking hate Most Wanted Rivals. So stupid. And then you had to be connected to the internet or something. I barely played this game. It was so stupid. The map sucked, and the cars were boring, and I barely remember much of it except I just hated the experience. It was the first one on Xbox One, and I just I don't know. I think they were too focused on it looking good, and then being online focused to actually worry about it being a decent game. It was kind of stupid. I did not like it. I just didn't like it, and I wasted money on the special edition or complete edition or whatever, which made me more annoyed. Um, then let's see. Oh shit! I forgot about Need for Speed World. Need for Speed World had the potential to be like an S class or an S tier experience, free to play. It combined like maps from Most Wanted and Carbon, and they were gonna bring in like the undercover map and all these maps from these games that like most of which were good, combining them together into an online open world MMO type experience had such potential, and then they started getting like all EA-ish about it and money hungry and not caring about adding like good experiences, but just caring about ruining it with making you pay for like too much, which I get it. It's a free to play game, so there's gonna be some like purchasable things, but making it too pay to win, like all their other dumb EA things, like they ruined it, and then they shot themselves in the foot, and then it got taken down. Apparently, it's like been back up for a little while. I stopped paying attention to it, like I don't know, a little bit before it went offline, and I don't know. I just it's a shame. It had real S tier potential, but realistically, it's probably B or C tier. If people who have more experience in it, realistically, I should probably put it down here. But I did get into it a little bit. My experiences in it were like C tier experiences, but people who have more experiences can probably tell me. Um, I don't know. If you have experiences with Need for Speed World and you want to share them, put it down below. If you have experiences, from what I've looked into, I looked into it a little bit before here just to see what happened to Need for Speed World, because I knew it went offline officially, but from what I've seen, apparently it's back up online, fan-made servers. But I have no idea if anyone has experience with these fan-made servers, if they're still up. I don't know. It's something that I would love to get into. That would be sick. Need for Speed No Limits. Okay, I think these both 2015. Okay, so I have no idea. Okay, Need for Speed Nitro. Need for Speed Nitro. I don't know anybody that played this. I'm gonna put that there. That's another one. If anybody knows anything about that one, let me know. I don't fucking know anything about that. I know it's on like DS and Wii. That's all I know. Kind of a silly thing. Honestly, it kind of looks goofy. Kind of looks kind of fun. I don't know. I like goofy shit though. So all right. Need for Speed No Limits, the phone game. I download phone games and I get bored of them like very quick. So that's kind of what happened with this. It's not like I'm gonna pop this up in B. It's not C tier. I'm gonna just put it in B. It's not like bad. I just get bored of phone games, so it's not probably not this game itself. It's just you can put any phone game I've ever gotten into here, and it would be like I'm really into this for like 2 days, and then never again. Especially if it like starts getting to the point where I have to buy stuff to like get any further. Then because I'm not gonna grind on a phone game because I have better things to do. I'm definitely not gonna spend money on a phone game because that's a waste of money. So there, that just goes there. Which I don't remember if it ever got to the point where it was like it either had to be super grindy or super like pay to win. But I get bored of phone games either way. I'm not a big phone person. I don't have a lot of social medias or anything. So okay, 2015 for Speed. I hate this game. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or what, but I really hate this game. I think they banked too much on the what would it be? I guess the characters in it, not the characters, the celebrities. You know, they had Magnus Walker and Ken Block, and I think they banked too much on that, and everything else just fell away into nothingness. It was like an online. You had to be online too, just like Rivals, which I hate that. I have nothing against online games, but games that force you to be online to do anything, I hate that. Um, I just, the driving was awful, and I didn't like the world, and everything just kind of felt, it just felt off from the get-go, and I know it was new, and it was total reboot, it just felt weird, and maybe it's just, a break-in period for a new engine and new mechanics and everything. I just didn't like it. I think especially with a new game like that, maybe focus more on refining the engines and mechanics and customizations and less on, oh, let's get celebrities and just cram it in there so people don't pay attention to like stuff that it may be wrong with it, and they just like, focus on all these shiny celebrities. I think that could have been a little bit, that maybe would have been the better thing to do, but this is why I don't run game studios. Okay, Need for Speed Payback. I actually kind of like this one. I thought the world was a lot better. I'm going to put it all the way up in A tier. I liked the story. I thought it would have been great to do like a sequel or add more content to this because I thought the story was kind of good. It didn't leave. I know why they didn't, because it didn't leave a whole lot to like be EA-ish about it, where they could have like milked it for content and pay to play type stuff. I get it, but like I expected there was gonna be like a sequel, and then there just wasn't. I'm like, oh, that sucks. That's stupid. Why do that? Why do this? Why even make this if you're not gonna follow through on this story? But whatever. I like story-based things, and this actually had a halfway decent story that they could have maybe improved upon for the next one, and then they just fucking didn't. So, okay, I kind of like that, to be honest. I thought they improved on the driving, and they improved on the customization, they improved on the UI, and everything that kind of lacked in the 2015, they improved on a lot, and I like that. So that's definitely an A for me. Not a whole lot of replayability. I mean, I did just kind of drive around and mess around a little bit, but it definitely wasn't bad. It's an A tier for me. To be honest. Say what you want. This is my tier list. Damn. Okay. Need for Speed Heat. That's a hard C. Everything that was good about this, they done made worse for this one. Again, it's like they made it better for this, and then somehow they made it worse again for this one. I don't know. The story again, what got bad again, and then the driving felt off again. I don't know. Yeah, I just that's and then coming back to this one, it got a little bit better for this one again, and I also kind of liked. A lot of people didn't like the kind of like goofiness of it. I thought the story was kind of like unpredictable, but I like the goofiness of like all the weird shit that went on with your, like when you drift and goofy shit comes out of your wheels. I kind of like that. It's a unique customization option. I also really like. I'm a little bit biased. I like the setting, but or what the setting is based off of. But I did actually just like the world. I thought it was set up really nice. Um, I enjoy the online. I think the online's getting better. I think maybe like a month ago would have been a C. It's getting better. It's a B. It's slowly getting there, um, which is nice to see that they're improving. They're actually working to improve and not just saying like, hey, we're just going to move on to the next one, which I'm sure they're doing anyway. But it's getting there. It's getting there. Main story was a little bit, but it would have been a C like a month ago. It's gotten up to a B. Um, but yeah, okay. That's that's about that. But I want to see if there's anything I want to move. S tier is good. That's good. That's good. This Hot Pursuit is gonna move. That's top of A. Top of A. Those are good with that. I'm honestly thinking I'm gonna move Hot Pursuit Remastered to S tier. That's honestly, I'm really thinking that's an S tier for me because I really, really thoroughly enjoy playing that. I'll just hop in and just cruise around sometimes. It's just a very satisfying experience, and it's very nostalgic to like the older Need for Speeds, Hot Pursuit 2, high stakes, just supercars, police, a nice environment. You have the snow, you have the coast, you have mountains, you have desert. Reminds me of a lot of tracks in like high stakes or Hot Pursuit 2. Um, it's a good time. I enjoy that a lot. I'm trying not to. I keep looking at Underground 2 and I'm like, maybe it belongs in A class, but I'm trying not to rely too hard on like what I think other people might feel, and also nostalgia because I do have a lot of time in Underground 2, and I do think it just belongs in B. But then I also look like does it belong in the same rank as like Shift and the Run, and I'm like, yeah, that's where I think it belongs. That is where I think it belongs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's where I think that is. That is my Need for Speed tier list. Let me know if you agree or disagree, or I don't know. Yeah, this is gonna be published on tiermaker.com. So if you want to rank Need for Speed games, or if I did forget one, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll put a link to the tier list in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.